Hello students, welcome back to Class 8 English Literature Chapter 1 Boyhood Days written by Booker T. Washington. So first of all, let us have a short chapter analysis and let us know the great personality of Booker T. Washington, who was a prominent African American writer, leader and educator. He was one of the founders of the National Negro Business League, an American organization which promoted financial development of African American. So children, before we proceed to the story, let us know about his autobiography, which is titled as Up from Slavery, and the chapter which we are going to read, that is Boyhood Days. It is an extract from his autobiography, Up from Slavery. So he reflects on the generosity of both teachers and philanthropists who helped in educating blacks and Native Americans. He describes his efforts to instill manners, breeding, health, and a feeling of dignity to students. A key aspect of the institution of slavery was the forced anglicized name given to all slaves upon arrival to America. Many slaves were resistant to give up their original African names because a name not only defines one's sense of self but also can carry religious, historical, cultural, and national significance. Slaves would often secretly continue to use their African name or even openly defy their masters by refusing to accept their anglicized name. Since names carry identity markers such as culture, religion, and history, newly freed slaves felt that one of the most important elements of beginning their journey towards social uplift was self-naming. Yet, notably their primary choices for new names, at least in Washington's account, were still white men, and sometimes even slave-owning white men like George Washington himself. Let us have the summary of the chapter. Washington notes that while slaves are overwhelmed with their newly acquired freedom, all seem to want two things: to leave the plantation for at least a few days to prove that they could, and to change their names. Many then return to the plantation, work out some sort of contract with their former owners, and go back to work. Washington and his family are not to be among those. His stepfather has secured a job and a small cabin in Malden, West Virginia, and sends for the family to join him there. Washington, his mother, and two siblings put everything they have into a small cart and walk the several hundred miles to their new home. Washington includes the details about walking all of the way from Franklin County to Malden in order to emphasize the struggle and determination of his family to establish itself. The labor of walking is no obstacle to them as they move to attempt to find economic independence in the mines. Also note Washington's early preoccupation with cleanliness and order, particularly as indicators of moral character. Washington's stepfather immediately put him to work in the salt mines, a mine in which salt is removed from the natural springs and caves in the area and refined for commercial use. Despite the difficult working conditions, Washington was introduced to his first real experience of book knowledge in the mines. Washington noticed that each worker's barrel was marked with an 18 number, and he memorized the pattern and began to recognize it in places outside of the mine. He had long had a desire to learn how to read, and once his family arrived in West Virginia, he had his mother acquire a Webster Blue Black reader to accomplish that goal. Washington struggled to learn the alphabet, but with practice he mastered a good portion of it. His education was furthered when a black teacher came to the town to establish a school for Maldon's black population. The town gathered together and they decided that each family would house the new teacher for a day and pay a certain amount each month so that the school could be free for the children. Young and old, newly freed black Americans took great interest in the school, and classes were conducted both in the daytime and at night to accommodate the great demand in the community. However, Washington was held back from the day school to work in salt mine because his stepfather felt that the family needed the extra income. Washington was deeply disappointed, but with the help of his mother arranged for the teacher to give him lessons after his long work day. Washington was so successful at achieving academic growth in these lessons that he convinced his stepfather to allow him to leave the mines each day to attend school and then return to the mine in the afternoon. Washington would work from 4 in the morning until 9, attend school until it closed in the afternoon, and then work for at least 2 more hours. However, he often could not arrive at school on time because of tightness of his schedule, so he decided to take action. Washington would go to the mines every day and set back the clock by 30 minutes in order to make it to school on time. However, his manager found out that someone was tampering with the clock, and the manager put a locked case around it. Although Washington felt a little bit guilty for the act, he felt that getting an education was more important than his shifts in the mine. Even after Washington temporarily solved the problem of getting to school on time, he still faced obstacles in his education. While most students wore a hat or a cap to school, Washington did not have one. When he asked his mother if he could have a school cap, she was able to create a homespun cap out of scrap clothes around the house. Washington deeply admired his mother's thriftiness, and he saw her creation of the homespun cap as a symbolic gesture of the importance of thrift over wealth. Washington also did not have a full name. Before school, he had simply been called Booker, but during roll call, he felt self-conscious about only having a first name. He chose Washington as his last name, and his mother had called him Booker Taliaferro as a child. So he adopted Taliaferro as his middle name. Washington felt that the opportunity to name himself was a special honor, and one that not many men have the chance to do. He suggests in an aside that ancestry is an important part of society and that it can motivate individuals to pursue success. Since Black Americans have no ancestry as a result of slavery, they are at a distinct disadvantage. Washington suggests that instead of relying on ancestry to motivate them, Black Americans must begin to form a legacy now for their future children by striving for excellence in American society. Hopefully, you understood the chapter and enjoyed the session. Thank you.